ATP, what it do with your boy Claymore Rain, back at you guys with another one. Man, shout out to all my subscribers. If this is your first time tapping into the content, I am going to invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit your bell icon as well so you are getting alerts when all this content is dropping. Look, I'm not even going to play with you guys, man, right? It is what it is. I don't even want to play with you guys about this. It's diabolical. If I were to just say it, you wouldn't take me seriously. I gotta put it out here like this. Ring Magazine just posted up. Guys, I'll read it to you. The Ring has learned WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson is currently hunting for a late replacement. Floyd Schofield has fallen ill and was pulled from the fight by the British Boxing Board of Control. According to sources, two of the options being considered include Musa Gollum and Josh Padley. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Floyd Schofield, no shows the grand arrivals. Let's start it there. No shows the grand arrivals. Now, you guys, if you guys been following this, let me put this down a little bit. If you guys have been following this, then you know, right? You understand that Schofield has been acting, to say the Schofield family and team have been acting funny ever since this fight got announced would be an understatement. I'm a little frustrated. I'm not going to lie to you, right? I'm a little frustrated. I won't even lie to you. You see, this is what gets in the way of big opportunities from coming together for these fighters, right? When you're talking about the moment being too big for a fighter, when we're talking about a fighter not being mentally ready for an opportunity, use this here as a reference. May the state always refer to this case as to a reason why these fighters have to be built up. You have to be honest about where they are. Guys, 6 months to a year ago, Floyd Schofield Sr. went on a terrorizing campaign attacking every single fighter you could imagine that was in his son's weight class. From Shakur Stevenson to Gervonta Tank Davis to Keyshawn Davis, right? All the way across the board, terrorizing the whole space, saying that his son beat all of these guys up in sparrings. Ask these guys. He got into it with content creators. He got into it with trainers. Shout out to my guy, Greg Hackett. He got into it with people across the space over the topic about where his son was at in his career and how he needed to get an opportunity to fight for one of these belts. He finally calls out Shakur Stevenson one time, ends up on a show with Najee. Shout out Najee from Scar Talk. Talks a whole bunch of mess. Shakur Stevenson pops up on the live and says, listen, man, you talking crazy. I'm trying to coordinate a fight right now with Williams Zepeda, waiting on him to finish fighting Tevin Farmer. Me and him are supposed to meet up after that fight. If that fight doesn't go through, as Shakur Stevenson is starting to get used to fighters pulling out of fights with him, this is becoming a regular thing for Shakur at this point, right? So he says, I'm going to give you an opportunity if Williams Zepeda doesn't pull the trigger. They said, you promise? You promise, Shakur?
Baby, you want baby? I know.
You promise? Shakur calls a bluff. Williams Zepeda pulls out of the fight with Shakur Stevenson to go and rematch Tevin Farmer. And they get the opportunity. Oscar De La Hoya himself tried to get in front of this fight from happening because he did not believe Floyd Schofield Jr. was ready for this moment. But you guys can see it. I didn't download it, and I won't play it. The playback of Floyd Schofield Sr. saying, send the contract. Send the contract. Showbiz uses it all the time, right, on his show. Send the contract. Showbiz, take that clip off your show, man. This is not going to be nothing but a sore reminder of what these guys done did at this event. A sore reminder. Maybe you'll keep it around, but you might have questions to answer every single time that video goes up, and you'll have to kick in the Schofield's back, or maybe I don't know. Shout out to Showbiz, you know what I'm saying? But that clip's going to be diabolical from this point on, right? So the first press conference kicks off in the UK the same week that they're doing the Ring Magazine Awards. Shakur Stevenson pops up for the press conference. All the fighters are introduced. Schofield doesn't show up. Schofield Sr. comes out and Jr. come out later on saying somebody sabotaged their passport, pulled out a page, something like that. And I think the most diabolical part about this whole situation is that they try to blame it on Shakur Stevenson's team. Shakur Stevenson is in England. In England at this Ring Magazine gala, they said Shakur Stevenson was behind the whole thing, that he coordinated some sort of diabolical plot and effort to stop Floyd Schofield Jr. from showing up to that press conference. Well, look, I don't think anybody believed for one moment that that's what happened, but we will go and give them the benefit of the doubt to say, hey, something must have happened with the passport. They're jumping the gun and accusing somebody who was nowhere near the scene of the crime. But hey, man, emotions get the best of us at times. Bottom line is they weren't able to show up to the event because they had passport issues. Well, here we go. Fast forward, as we're moving in between that time and today, the Schofields are coming out with random stories of people flattening their tires, sending the police over to their homes, sending charges on them, talking about they have guns or drugs or whatever have you, guns being pulled out on them, all types of things. They had to fire half their team because people were trying to sabotage their camp to get ready for this fight. Crazy. Now we see Schofield Jr. in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, supposedly saying that he was out there for about going on 3 weeks, acclimating, getting himself ready for this fight. I'm like, all right, look, these guys are getting ahead of the game. These guys are focused. Their head is on in the right place. Listen, they about their business. Schofield Jr. talking about his child, how he, as a father, how motivated he is, his inspiration. He can't let Shakur Stevenson get away with this. He's promising Shakur Stevenson broken jaws and broken ribs and broken face bones and orbital sockets and all things of that nature, promising him this. Just to have grand arrivals today for this kid not to show up to grand arrivals. Then what happens? They don't show up to grand arrivals, and then what are we looking at? Senior coming out talking about Junior was poisoned, and he's suspects Shakur Stevenson's masseuse and Snack. Blamed Snack, guys. You can't make this up.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Blame Snack. What are you doing using Snack, first of all? If you don't normally use Snack, why would you use somebody else's snack or a snack that Shakur Stevenson has access to? And then, oh yeah, Shakur Stevenson's masseuse. How is Shakur Stevenson's masseuse anywhere near Floyd Schofield Jr.? To say that this is far-fetched and hard to believe is an understatement. I don't even think that even grabs or even begins to highlight or bring any type of light to how preposterous this sounds, right? Maybe it's true, but it just sounds absolutely ridiculous. But here we go. About inside of the last 30 minutes, this comes out saying that Schofield Jr. has to pull out the fight because he's been poisoned. The British Board of Control, literally, the British Boxing Board of Control literally had to pull this kid out of the fight, which I'm sure is going to be like the story, right? I'm sure the Schofields are going to come out saying they wanted to fight. They were trying to make the fight. The British Board of Control didn't want to let him fight because they this, that, and the other. Bro, they didn't want to let him fight because they don't have time for this nonsense with you guys, the games that you play, and they're not going to allow you to be sick and then fight, even though you say you can fight, but you get sick, you get hurt during the fight, now you're suing them or all kinds of things. Turkey's not trying to play those games with his event. The British Board the British Boxing Board of Control is not trying to play no games with this. They're just going to go ahead and move on to the next option. So now Shakur Stevenson supposedly is looking to have a replacement fight. They're looking for somebody to replace him. At least he'll be on the event so he can get his money. Obviously, he doesn't get a chance to prepare for this fighter. But I mean, Shakur is a good enough fighter to where a late replacement shouldn't make the biggest difference in the world. But let me tell you something, man. He's definitely got to be looking. Shakur Stevenson's definitely got to be looking at the Schofields with that eye. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for the boxing space to ever embrace Schofield Jr. as a legitimate competitor for anybody in the sport. He's going to have to fight 2 to 3. I mean, legitimately right now, Schofield Jr., you might be in a position where you have to fight a Abdullah Mason. or you have to fight an Andy Cruz, or you have to fight another fighter, right? You're gonna have to fight somebody high risk and low reward to you, multiple versions of these fighters, in order to begin to even gain the respect and the trust of the boxing space again. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Turkey did not just disconnect from you completely. Who has time for these kind of antics? And one might say, listen, maybe they're dealing with a poison situation. But when you look at the buildup to this point of the amount of antics and things that they've said, that they've admitted to trolling, to trying to get Shakur Stevenson thrown off, that they've talked about police running up on them and pulling guns out on them, and their passports being messed with, right? And things of that nature. Multiple things that build up to this point. One could build an argument up that the Schofields were trying to get out this fight from day one. One could definitely build that argument up. Can we prove it? No. But listen, sometimes you got to go with your gut. In this case scenario, Floyd Schofield Jr. has shot himself legitimately in his foot. And you can't help but believe also that his father has something to do with this. Junior, you can't help but believe that his father has something to do with this. And I called this from the moment that passport situation happened. I said to myself, it was kind of weird. Maybe there's some nerves going on. I don't understand how this one most important page in this passport book has been pulled out. Who has access to that passport book? Is this some usual suspect nonsense? We're looking everywhere but at the people that's right in front of our face, right under our nose. Listen, I don't know. This is diabolical. Wish the best for the Schofields. The box credibility is hurt, shot. It is what it is. I'm sure you don't care. On to the next opportunity. Oscar will line you guys up, I'm sure, and put you in a fight with somebody at 135. Maybe he'll go up to 140. Maybe it was a bad weight cut. Maybe he'll go to 140 and the weight cut was getting a little too bad and he ended up getting sick. I don't know what's going on. People have been saying Schofield Jr. is way too big for the division, or looking too big. Maybe the rehydration clause is affecting him. Multiple things could be moving at the same damn time, right? But at the end of the day, this is what happens when you bet on a prospect. When you bet on somebody is inconsistent. This is what happens when you run your mouth the way you've been running your mouth, Floyd Schofield Sr. You put your son in the worst case scenario. It is what it is. Boxing is boxing. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Clearly, this fight is off. Floyd Schofield Sr. calls out a foul play in this situation, right? Hold on a second here. Pulls out of the fight. Pulls completely out the fight. Says his son has been poisoned. Floyd Schofield Jr. not fighting. Shakur Stevenson looking for a late replacement. At least it's Tuesday, right? You got 3 days to try to find somebody to make this fight happen. It is what it is. It's your boy Claymore Rain. Remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit your bell icons so you are getting alerts when next content is dropping. At this point, we out of here, bro. Crazy.